give the invocation.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you so much for the day that you have made. Thank you for all the men and women who are here tonight who devote their time each month and each week to serve the needs of our community. We pray, Lord, and ask your blessing upon this meeting and for all the decisions that are made. God, we thank you most of all for the season of Christmas and for the birth of Jesus, and may you just bless each and every one of us, Lord, as we approach the Christmas holiday. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Mr. Carter, you lead the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, in your packet, you have the minutes for the regular meeting on November 21st, and also for the special meeting for the state officers on December 6th. Is there a motion to approve as written?
No motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any changes? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Any committee reports? Department reports?
I've got a couple
Okay.
Go ahead.
wanted to thank the street department for the work they did on First Street there. I think they did a very good job with it, got it done quickly and effectively. The few problems that they had, they squared away. I'm really happy with how they did on that. So thank you, and tell the guys we all said thank you as well.
Combined effort with Sea Light and Water, MoDOT, and everybody was, just got in there and got her done.
And you even used the shovel some too, didn't you?
Yeah, bad as I hated to.
A lot. Appreciate that. Also met with department heads, and one of the things that we discussed was that, actually we only got a couple tonight, but they're ready to get on with life and get control of their departments and get back their ability to control their budget and all that. They're ready to go on with life and get back to post depression era, or whatever we want to call it. And then we also discussed a little bit about changing of the facilities. And this is a personal view, doing a little bit of rearranging, but I would really like to see a hold up on moving people and personnel and things of that nature until we get done with the audit, because one of their jobs is to help us identify weak spots. Am I correct? The issues that we have. And so my suggestion at this point is just let's kind of let it flow a little bit till we see what the auditors have to say. That's all we got. Thank you.
Anything else?
Police Department,
Yes, sir.
we've had a problem with panhandlers at the Walmart and different locations, and we looked at an ordinance, and we've talked to Terry about it. Since he's not here, we're probably not going to be able to do much about it, but we can limit the time that they can be out there. We can require a permit, and we can keep them out of the street. But as far as just asking them to beg, we can't keep them from doing that. We can't do a background check or anything like that. So I was hoping Terry would be here tonight so he could get us a little bit more clarification on that. He's still looking at all the legalities of this thing. So when we get all the bugs worked out of it, we'll bring that in an ordinance at that time. But that's something that we're looking at. You know, sometimes that gets to be a problem out there, and you know, safety is one of the biggest things. Get them out in the middle of the street, and then you got traffic problems. So that's one of the things we're looking at.
Well done. Well overdue.
Yes. You got anything else, Kenny?
It'd be good if we can get this done, the sooner the better. Obviously, I was hoping Terry would be here tonight, but we get a lot of complaints when this happens, and obviously one of the concerns is how legitimate some of these groups are. Obviously, Terry said we can't really deny it, but we can at least make the process where we know who's going to be out there and for how long. And the council can set the day, the hours, like Mr. Pelt said, which would help out tremendously for our guys to know when they're going to be there and when they can't be there.
Well, will the council give Mr. Pelt's authority to communicate what he feels is best with Terry, and he can come back with the ordinance if they feel it's right next council meeting?
If we need a motion, I'll make that
We have a second, several of them, I feel like. Anybody have any comments?
I just have a question. Can we set the amount of the permit, the fee for the permit? Or is that dictated by some other group?
You mean, how
I mean,
many
can we
permits
say
you put
it's
out?
$100 to have a permit to do this?
I don't think we can charge for it.
Oh, it's a free
Yeah,
permit, okay.
there's a lot of things that comes into freedom of speech on this thing, because we had an ordinance written that we thought was written pretty detailed, but after we give it to Terry, well, this won't work, this won't work, this won't work. So pretty much what I outlined is about what we've got, and he's still working on a couple areas on those. So until we get back, hear from him, we really can't do anything else. But you know, the biggest thing, one of the deterrents is gonna be the fact that they'll have to get a permit. And we can ask 7 days prior, and you know, then we'll have a responsible person that we'll have a contact for. And then hours of, that the permit is good for, plus we can keep them out of the streets. And since most of the time that they come, we now have cameras out there that we can see when they're there, where they're at, what they're doing. So
Have you looked at surrounding towns and see how they're,
I have not,
how they're handling that?
I have not.
No,
This is not to punish our local organizations. This
No.
is mainly the out-of-town groups that come in. There's one group from Memphis, Tennessee. They come in, we'll sit in front of Walmart and the McDonald's intersection. And then they take all the money that's given to them from Kennett and takes it to Memphis.
We have absolutely zero problem with any organization in Kennett coming to do
But
that.
some of them are in the street the whole time, aren't they?
Mhm.
that's the point,
But,
yeah.
but the out-of-town folks is the one we're concerned about. So that's really what we're looking at.
Any other comments for this motion that we have on the floor? I should ask, are you okay with?
Absolutely.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
If you would you care to send that out previous, for the next council meeting packet?
I will.
And that way they can kind of make comments if they need to before the
I'll do
meeting.
it.
Thank you. Any other committee meetings or reports? All right, we'll move on. Unfinished business, item A was resolved during the finance committee meeting. Basically, just keep everybody updated. It's, you all approved the finance committee to temporarily move the money to where it's a higher yielding accounts, and that's what they're doing for the city. And then you will have a full detailed report of it in all your packets when normal financial information comes out. Anything else? Good?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I don't know if I missed or what, but do I need to ask for the closed meeting?
No, it's already, it's
I didn't know if it
already,
was on there or not,
it's
but
on there.
I do need to close.
Yes, we've got that. For personnel.
Yes.
Okay, new business. You have the statement of revenue expenditures and the balances in your packet. We have a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, second. Questions? Discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Who seconded it? I didn't hear.
I think
Mark did.
Mark.
Right.
You don't need to speak up.
Me.
I'm never speaking.
At this time, is there anyone in the audience who wish to speak to council?
Well, we're still under new business.
Okay,
I have something else that I'd like to bring up.
all right.
I'm just throwing this out to the council members to get your viewpoints, your thoughts, and we can look this over and discuss that and meet back at the next council meeting. But I'd like to look at a city manager type, so that we'll have one person that would be responsible. They're gonna have all these committees and stuff to go through. He'll have the control of the budget, and see what we can do from there.
Department heads would have one person to answer to.
Absolutely,
Instead of committees. and-
We'll run it much like CLGW runs it.
pretty much. Yeah.
Not the I think he said manager, but the administrator,
Yeah.
we have a current administrator form of government right now. But if you change it to
City manager.
manager, that's a different topic.
Different topics.
Different council and
Administrator
everything.
then, would you want administrator in the minutes?
No, manager.
Manager, okay.
Now, that would be vote.
Yeah, we'd have to take that to the,
Administrators will do the same principles.
basically, yes.
So that's what we're, shooting for.
There again, it makes me no difference what title you have.
Oh, I agree.
I'm bringing this up for discussion. If the council full agreement that it's a good idea, we'll pursue it. If not, I won't waste any more time with it.
I would like for you to meet with the finance committee for discussion. I think there's already been a lot of discussion in the finance committee and the mayor on this subject.
I think there's probably support for a central point.
Sure.
Mhm.
of
Like I
something.
say, there's gonna be a lot of discussion. This is not something to be done in one meeting or two meetings. I think to run this thing efficiently, that's the best way to go with it.
I believe it was John Robertson that did a lot of research on this
He did.
before. Perhaps it would be worthwhile to invite John in on the discussion.
There has been discussion, again, it's partially gonna be financial. It probably saves us money in the long run, but we've still gotta come up with the money to pay it.
I understand that. And I really think that it will save the city money. There again, it's gonna be a salary, but I think the money it will pay for itself if we get the right person.
I believe John's, if I remember correctly, his proposal was to probably pay somewhere around 4 or 5 years out, and, take that long to pay out, but if I remember correctly.
So the discussion will begin.
Yeah. So, is there any downfall to it? I mean,
Coming up with the money.
other than the money?
The downfall, the only thing that you all would have to be willing to do, and this is what happened the first go around. We had our, and again, who cares what the name's called?
Right.
But when we had previous administrator position you're talking about, the council never gave up their committee systems.
Yeah.
And so there was two, there was two people they had to answer to. And this would keep it down to one person, so we had to get rid of the committees,
Yeah.
except for policy.
You can still have the committees.
For policy.
But they're still gonna, for policy, but the department needs to be answered to one guy.
Yes,
You won't
yes.
be the answer to the committees.
That's what happened the first time. That's what made it fall on its face the first time.
And the city council itself will do policy.
Yes.
And that would be it.
It's just like you have any other structured business or government. You make the rules and laws and policies, and
Expect
they
them to carry them out.
carry it out.
Good.
There's no elected mayor either. Right,
On the
City
council
manager.
manager form of government,
correct.
the city administrator form of government, which we have in place today, has that. City
No,
administrator
no,
does.
I know that.
Yep.
If you change,
If changed, the mayor
the
position
mayor
goes
comes from
away.
the council.
Mhm.
Well,
And you run, there's a certain amount of council, it's not 10 members either, it's.
No, it's not.
Five.
It
Yeah.
changes.
John Robertson, 75 members,
Seven,
one from each board.
Matt said
one at
7.
home.
There's a change in number.
There's a whole change. Both of them do the same purpose, so it just had to figure out what the council wants the most.
An administrator has more authority, a manager has more authority, I think, state statute.
But he still answers to the council.
Oh, yeah.
The city manager. But you don't have to have.
An administrator's different than a manager.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So, the school
Yes.
board, the
Sorry,
city
I
council
shouldn't
would
have-
hire the superintendent or the
Yes.
manager.
And then the administrator is council, mayor,
It's almost like another department head, maybe plus.
that answers to all department heads answer to that
Yes.
position.
Yeah, and I think they're just there to kind of facilitate.
Facilitate, that's correct.
So,
Beautiful, good.
something good for 2024 to talk about.
Nothing like any other thing.
That's right. Anything else?
Museum.
Museum, yes, sir.
Well, we brought it up before, we put it out for bids to do something at the museum, excuse me, about the water leaks in there. Didn't really get anybody even really want to look at it. I've had Chad Payne, contractor here, look at it. He fully believes that the leaks are coming, or most of them are coming from the roof, not the roof itself, but down through the bricks. that the cap on top of the brick wall is not holding and water's coming down through there. Pretty difficult to give a bid on that. He's done work on that type of work before on some other buildings in town. He doesn't use aluminum, he uses more or less metal flashing, and runs metal flashing all the way around where it'll stick down, I don't know.
What's on it now?
I'm sorry?
What is on it now?
We don't
Is it
know,
reed
but
cap?
apparently it's cement or something like that, Steve. I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, I've seen roofs when I've been up before that are, you know, kind of capped with mortar, you know, type of thing. But, he went up in the attic, up in the second story, and, looked at all of that. I haven't been up there. I didn't feel comfortable going up the stairs, the way the plaster's coming off the walls and stuff. And firmly believes that that's part of the problem, maybe not all of it. It could still be leaking around some of the windows and stuff, but, where it's coming down the walls and stuff like that, you know, we just don't believe it's all around the windows. He doesn't know how to really give a bid on that without getting up there, which is gonna take a lift to get up there and everything. He gave me a price of $110 an hour to do that work plus the materials. I'd like to, I don't really know, Steve, you do construction, Dennis, you do
I
construction.
feel better if they give us a bid and not do by the hour, because you don't have no control of how long it's gonna take.
He just doesn't do it, he just doesn't know
He doesn't know.
where to start.
If he got up there with the lift, would he be able to better assess it?
It just delays it longer and longer too, the more damage to the building, but, I mean, I'm not comfortable, you know, doing it either way, except I just think we started this in October, now it's the end of December, and every time it rains, we get more damage to the buildings, so.
There is a lot of moisture in the building. You can smell it now, and
We stopped a few of the leaks on one of the older, and you'll know what I'm talking about, one of the older downtown buildings with some of the liquid rubbers that they have out there nowadays, and that, where it was coming through the bricks and all that, and that has been very, very effective. And maybe we could get it at least.
Being wrapping the inside of it.
No, just going, paint it over, basically use it
Over
like
the
paint
outside.
over the outside of the bricks and over those caps. And that would be something that might slow it down at least, but we'd still have to have somebody to do it. And I don't think I'd be the guy to get up on the
You
ladder.
use a clear, white or black,
Yeah.
whichever matches better.
I think a good portion of that water is coming, seeping through the bricks and the mortar, it's old.
Yeah,
And so it'll have to be waterproofed on the outside of the brick all the way down
yeah.
to ever keep that from leaking. Even if you cap the top, you know, rain, water runs down the brick, just soaks through kind of like a sponge, go right to the inside, then the plaster comes off. I have the same problem at the church. So I think there'll have to be some waterproofing done on the exterior of the building to eliminate that from happening.
I'm not arguing.
Sure.
I think they did some waterproofing on the outside of the building when it was done, when we did the revitalization downtown, you know, we took the awnings down and everything.
it's painted.
Was it painted in?
Painted.
Only? Okay.
Is this something we would need a structural engineer to come in and look at? Just
That
to
building
get-
was structurally sound when it was put on the
Historic
historic
register.
register.
I think it's more cosmetic at this time.
Yeah.
If we keep it, if we don't fix the problems, though, it will have
Yes.
structural
Yes.
issues.
No problems.
But currently, it's cosmetic.
It's called-
And since it's on the historical register, does it have to stay brick, or can it be painted? If you can paint it, you know, that will seal the brick.
It's
It's
already
painted. It's
It's
painted right
Painted
now.
now,
Mhm.
The brick.
maybe it just need to repaint it.
And the
Gonna have to be
joints,
one of the
motor
roads.
joints are painted as well?
Yeah, the whole side. And one side, I think the north side is the concrete stucco,
Plaster?
plaster look on that side, I believe. But it's all painted all the way around the building.
And most likely it's coming from the ridge cap.
Yeah, and that's where the rubber.
Well, should we make a recommendation then to approve up to a certain amount so he can actually get up there and look at it, see what needs to be done within a certain amount, and then we approve the rest, or just get it done? Because if it snows, we'll get more rain, it's just gonna get worse, right? It's work we have to get done.
It works every, what? Okay. What do y'all wanna do? Well,
It's taken 3 months to get somebody to look at it
Yeah.
and give us, say that they would work on it, so I'll just leave it at that. So,
We want it
I
done
can
right.
have one of my contractors look at it in Papa Bluff if you like.
soon,
Yeah, I can make a phone call in the morning. I'll make a note. He does that kind of work. If I can give you his number and you can call him.
I won't be here.
Okay.
Where do we have some money to do this with?
we have capital improvements.
Okay. We don't need to worry about
Is there gonna be somebody that can let him in to look at it?
We got a key here,
Okay.
and I can let them in. If
Okay.
the person from the museum can't let be available, I've got the code for the alarm. As long as I don't get thrown in jail again by chief.
I really think there's a cap around the top of it,
Yeah.
There's gotta be some kind of cap, yeah.
a metal cap.
And, they do stucco and they do, flashing and all that stuff.
Usually that, when they do that memory roof, and they overlap it, but I don't think that has, I think that's old tar roof up there now.
So has it terminated, the tar roof usually comes up and then you get a ridge cap on both sides.
And then that heating makes a gap between the brick and the tar a lot of times.
Well, your ridge cap should come down past your tar, rubber roof, whatever you have on there. There's gotta be a solution.
It's a slope flat roof. Well, our next meeting will be January 16th. We should have an answer then, we can get something rolling by that time.
So we're skipping in January 2nd, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the announcement.
Okay.
Are you good right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, new business?
We'll get something going somewhere.
New business, anybody? All right, public comments? Okay, we'll close that. As I stated earlier, January 16th will be our next meeting. Committees, I ask that you all start, if you can, by the end of January, have department head evaluations from your committees. Be great to have. Department heads, we met, the finance committee, myself, we met for the meeting. February 1, we'd like to have the 2024-2025 budget turned in, please. Also, within your budget, your capital items should be listed on the bottom. So if you're wanting police cars, fire vehicles, things like that, make sure that's on the bottom of your budget with the estimated cost.
You don't want it figured into the budget, you want its own individual line.
On the bottom, yes. Yes.
And we're asking for a flat budget.
Flat budget.
And a time frame on those capital improvements.
Yes, and time of when you think you need to put that into that purchase to be done in that year period. We're gonna get ahead of the budget, we're gonna have one approved well before our due date. Okay, anything else before we close and go to closed session? All right, we're gonna need to make a motion to end this session and go into closed session. We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call vote.
Aye.
Yes.
All right, I think that passes. Audience, appreciate